Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of this build series on this beautiful car known as a R32 GTR. Today, we got some goodies. I dug in my goodie bag again from one of the goodie bags that I got. This goodie bag came from GKTECH. So today we're gonna go ahead and finish up the rear end. Show you guys here what I'm talking about. This is the lovely box from GK Tech. You probably don't even know what that is. Some people do. Um, yes, it pretty much is going to be a straightforward type of deal. What these are the GK Tech rear subframe slip-in collars. They're not the drop-in collars, and the reason that they're slip-in is because you can see the slot that's there. And then you got these lovely guys as well. So the way this works is you have your top of your bushing on your subframe, and then you have the rear uh, bottom part of your bushing of your subframe. So this guy kind of get nailed down my old self. So it's going to be oriented kind of like that on the car, um, and it goes on all four corners. All four corners. See, I got all the pieces here, and I'm gonna drop that and that right there. So pretty much, that's what that stuff is. That's what we're gonna work on. I'll kind of show you guys what we're dealing with, and I can go over some sizes as well. Get up underneath of this guy. All right. So there's one right there. And then, let's see if I can get the camera in there and then the light. That guy right there is the top of my bushing. And like I said, you got that on four corners. The other thing here is the other ones. Right there is the bottom, and then the top is up there. So with this setup, pretty much what you do is you don't take the subframe all the way out of the car. You'll wind up just dropping it down enough so you can get the slide in part up in the top, and then the bottom. That washer comes off, of course, um, and then what you'll wind up doing is putting that other bottom collar there, and then you put your washer back up in there, and then you put your nut, tighten it all back down. Now, one thing I ran into on my car because I got rid of Hikes is, let's see if I can get up under there better so you can see my point of view. So you can kind of see the bar is in the way. So what I got to do is go ahead, take this bar down, which would be my tie rod, rear tie rod on both sides of the car. There's the other one, and there's, you can kind of see one's already loose. I was working on it. You got to loosen all four of them up, and actually these two, I'm gonna wind up taking out completely so the arm can swing down out of the way, so I can easily access those subframe bolts that's there. One other thing important that you have to do when you're doing this subframe is this bracket. Some cars have it. Some cars, people have removed it, took it off, whatever they've done. But it is a series of three bolts. You got this bolt here. That is actually part of the subframe connector, or actually subframe right there. The subframe connector, you got these three bolts. So you got them two, and then that one up there. This has got to come off, and then do the same thing on the other side. And the other important thing is, besides all of this, is you got to have a way to support the subframe and figure out where you're going to pick up and grab it. So I pretty much decided that I'm going to pick up and grab the subframe from here with my jack. So I'll go ahead and get all that stuff set up and then come back and you guys can see exactly, the process of doing this. It should be a pretty straightforward job. warrant nothing crazy happen. So hold. All right, guys, I'm all set up. Let's go ahead and start taking this down. Now, the 2 or 3 brackets, 3 bolts that I'm going to do for my bracket subframe attachment. It's a 13 millimeter. So you can go ahead and loosen them up first. 14. I'm gonna pick a 13. Apologize, guys. It's actually a 14 and a 13 on those 3 bolts. All right, so those come out. I'll show you guys what they look like. There, that's the subframe connectors. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side real quick. The other thing is I got my jack sitting with a block of wood on that pickup point that I was showing you guys. All right, guys, the next step is I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the GKTECH adjustable tie rods that's with my Hikers Delete bar. And it's an 18 and a 19. The nut that is supplied in the kit from GKTECH is a 19, and the bolt head is an 18. All right, guys. Once you go ahead and get those arms swinging, go ahead and access the bolts for the subframe. Don't want to misquote you guys on that, so let me look. Those bolts, those 4 bolts, are 17s. So you're not going to take them all the way out. You're just going to loosen them down enough, and then you're going to let the subframe drop down so you can put the slide-in collars in. But I'll show you guys that in a minute. All right, guys, so I went ahead and got those bolts out of the way. Let me show you what you're going to be left with once you're done. So this is the front bushing, so you can see what I've done is I took that washer down, this cup washer that goes up in there like that. So you took that out of your way. And then on the back side of things, what you also want to do, you take that washer out of your way, and that's what you're left with. And then what you want to do is thread your nuts back on all 4 corners. Get it on there pretty good. I got it on there, enough good threads. And then once you've done that on all 4 sides, it's really ready for you to allow the subframe to come down. And then you can take your slide ends and put in there. So let me show you that, and then I'll go ahead and get set up. I'll take one of these washers over there with me. All right, so the space that I was showing you, just give yourself enough to slide around in the top. And then the bottom, like I was telling you, see how that sits like that now? So you'll have that on your corners as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take 1 and 2 over with me for right now. I'll come back and get the other ones, do the other side. Just kind of want you guys to see me dropping the subframe down. So just bear with me here. Get set back up. I'm trying to do this all in one take, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Right. Right. All right. All right, guys. Looks like we got not gonna say a problem, but things changed. Maybe for the best. Who knows? But let me show you guys what's going on and why I had to abruptly stop. Um, I thought that I was doing, but it wasn't. Let's see if we can get in there. Get in there with the light. So you guys look right there. That's some type of bracing already. That rod part, let me see if I can get this light to stay put. Probably can't because it sucks. All right, we'll do it that way. Okay. Um, Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to get some light in here so you guys can really pick up on what the hell's happening. Um, and of course you can't. So right here, you see my finger. Right there, is the shaft where the collar, this piece, is supposed to slide over. You see, this is the one I was whacking with my hammer and pry bar, trying to tap it in place, just thinking that it was snug just because. But the more I looked at it, like I said, it's got some type of stiffener or collar on it already on the top. And I've checked all four corners. And, oh yeah, you guys can see it. Let me get my hand in there and move it. It's on all four corners already. So the only thing is, it on the bottom side of where the it doesn't have it up there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So it doesn't have any collar here to kind of stiffen it, except for the washers that's free. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and see what happens. Just putting these on the bottom for right now. I said I'll see what happens. But yeah, apparently it's got some type of stiffener from it. And I don't know if that's factory or if that was something that was done many years ago. Because this is a 30-year-old car, a performance car that had a crap load of upgrades on it when I got it. So to remedy this, the only way around that is I would have to drop the subframe all the way out of the car. Because I need probably like 8 inches or more to get to get that down so I can get each of those collars off of there and then go from there. Now I may try that. The only thing I would have to do is to see how much play I have is of course I just got to take down. Let me show you what we're working with. So pretty much I would have to take these out both sides because it's still attached to the body there. So of course you'd imagine me trying to draw the subframe, this would give me problems. So yeah, I would have to take these out and see how much more play it gives me. Then I could try putting those collars in. So I'm gonna try that real quick without getting too crazy. I don't feel like breaking open the system, which is the all-wheel drive system. I really don't feel like doing that unless I really have to. Um, so yeah, let me get to work on that and see what happens, and then I'll come back in a little bit. Okay. All right, guys. This is the face of pure excitement after working 10 hours today at work and then coming home and working on this beloved car behind me. This thing, this beautiful Nissan. But you know what, man? It's not bad. I've worked on way worse cars. This Nissan from this generation, this era 90s, or this particular one, I could say, is not that far off from like the Hondas of that same generation, like with my DA, which is here, of course. So the Japanese, I guess, from that time period, man, they kind of had like all the same build philosophy a little bit as far as the way they put their cars together. So that wasn't too hateful, but I gotta show you guys in this video what I went through. Man, I'm telling you, man, these freaking cars, but it's fun. The older that you get, you I don't know, it can go both ways, but the older I get, I calm down a little bit more. So that's not bad for me anyways. Other people You know, they may go the other way, but yeah. So what you're looking at is an arm that's attached to the subframe. So you can see here, this is the pin, right? And I got it down. Now, of course, I don't have a collar over here to show you, but so here's the pin. Here's the beautiful things that was installed. I guess, from the factory, some type of spacer or whatever the heck it is, but that's set in there, and that wouldn't allow my whatchamacallit to go over it. You know what I mean? It wouldn't allow my collar. Now I'm sitting here pure excitement, and it just dawned on me. Actually, what I gotta do. So I'm gonna have to drop the sub down again. But the good news is I know how to locate it. So I guess what I was trying to do, I didn't have the subframe dropped far enough down. But yeah, it just hit me. But it's fine. And I'll wind up doing all that off camera. But yeah, I pretty much had the subframe down on the ground. I had to disconnect, my e-brake cables, a Tesia, wiring connectors and all, which I got enough room. I'll put all that stuff back up in there. So pretty much, let me turn this camera back one time. All right. So subframe collar goes in there like that. And then this guy is going to sit back over top of it. So once I get it all squared away and to go back up, I'll turn this thing back on. I'm probably not going to do it tonight. I'm beat. But yeah, what I'm gonna wind up doing is, like I said, dropping it back down so I can get these factory spacers back over the top of these guys, and then that'll be pretty much it. And I'll show you everything once I'm done. So just hold tight. Like I said, I'm gonna cut the video here, pick back up tomorrow or Wednesday, and then just show you guys all what was involved in getting these up in there. And I don't know if every car is like this, but this particular car had these things still from the factory. Like I said, I don't know if it's just a GTR thing, or if all R32s have it, but my car definitely had these like locator spacer things, washers at the top of it as well. Something that I didn't see on the GKTECH instructions or on their install video. They may have like I said, it may have been like just a non-GTR. But anyways, just hold tight. I'll pick back up in a day or two once I recover from this. So just sit tight. All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back for the finale of this video on the rare subframe slip-in collars from GKTECH. I just want to show you guys what it looks like when it's all done, and then move on to the next project. I'll get a light, show you real quick as well. So pretty much once it's done, that's what you're going to end up with. I don't know if I can get it. You can see it now. So that's what you'll wind up with when it's all done. You can see that it's tight back in there. So one other important thing that you want to do with this is properly torque those bolts down, which I found was talking about what it actually was, and they are anywhere from 98 to 115 Newton meters. You convert that, that's roughly 72 to 87 foot-pounds with a torque wrench. And the reason I suggest that you do the torque spec is you don't run the risk of over-tightening those bolts and snapping the stud that's like welded into the frame of the car, or it's not welded. It's like a kind of like if you ever took a lug nut out. Well, that's what those studs look like. And like before I got started on the job, I was kind of looking to see if they were available. At one point in time, I had found them and seen where they were available, but this time I didn't see it. It was like just a couple of days ago. I didn't see them available anywhere. So, anyways, just make sure you torque it, because then the other thing that happens as well is as you're tightening these up, it's going to push these collars. It's going to sandwich them in there, like, you know what I mean. So it's so just imagine as you're tightening, it's doing like this. So with the proper torque, you'll get that all set, like it's supposed to be as well. Other than that, um, that's pretty much it for this video. The only thing I got left now is I just gotta tighten up some bolts for the Hikers Delete tie rod ends, and I gotta put my coilovers, the lower portion, back down in the mount. Guys, real quick, like here, I gotta get. The only thing I gotta do is take the jack and push up and line that up and put the bolts back in. And then, like I was saying here, these aren't they just started, but they're not tight yet. So I gotta put those back in on both sides. And I'm not gonna have you guys sit and watch me do that. Um, these guys as well, just gotta tighten, just go over everything, make sure it's all tight. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So hopefully it was insightful. Oh, one last thing. Uh, this particular setup, because of the bushings, and I did a little bit of research. GKTECH does not make mention again of those top plates. Last time I'll show you the top plates. These right here. So nowhere does GKTECH make mention of that you need to reuse them, because it looks like all their instructions maybe like a S chassis or like a different bushing setup. Because what I seen in my research was some aftermarket bushings, either solid or whatever, takes up the slack that the factory bushing has, or the design. It's like a little bit different than the factory. So the factory bushing has a piece that sticks up like that, and that's kind of where the stock mount goes over the top of that. Where this slips in between that and makes it just pretty much a solid piece. So just be mindful. If you have those bushings or that style, because I think white line that might even be like that as well. But if you have that style bushing, that you have to reuse those mounts on all four corners of your subframe. If you don't, you're gonna have so much slack in there, it's pretty much useless with the slip and collar, because you want it to be tight and compressed. And then the other thing is, don't be afraid if when you first put it in, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna have enough thread um, on my bolts, on my nuts, my studs. You will, because once you put it down to the factory torque specs, it shores it up, it tightens it down, and you see about that much stud sticking out once everything is tight. So you're fine, it's safe, it's in there. So like I said, that's pretty much it for this video. I was going to show you the front end, what I got going on. I finally routed the wiring harness back through on the engine bay on that one side. But now I got to start playing with getting the fuse box and all that stuff set up and put back in. So I'll do that another time. I'll show you guys, but I'll do that off camera. That ain't nothing really exciting. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this this one as much as I did. It was a process, a learning curve for sure, just because of some of the information that was out there was a little bit murky. But this, hopefully, it clears that up this video. So until the next time, love you guys. Stay up, stay positive, stay blessed. Peace.